Today's adventure brings us to the Francis Hildreth Towns Memorial Forest.
We're joined today by our friends Dave, Tina, and Barry. We are here on Frog Rock Road. Why Frog Rock Road? Let's see. We're going to take you to its namesake. Heading down this way. Frog Rock Road is located in the town of New Boston, New Hampshire. Back in 1736, when this town was granted, it was granted to several Boston families. By the time the town became incorporated in 1763, they had been calling it New Boston after their hometown, and that's the name that got formally recognized. Shortly after you begin your adventure on Frog Rock Road, you're going to see this right as Frog Rock Road starts to make a descent. That will take you out to Frog Rock, but we're going to follow the road first, go to the end, and then come back, and we will hit Frog Rock on the way out. Now, Barry found a shovel out here in the woods. That more?
Strap.
Oh, Barry is finding more artifacts out here. And what's a Chuck and Cheryl's Outdoor Adventures without artifacts? We're currently looking for the Reed Brothers Farm foundations, and they got to be around here somewhere with all these artifacts laying around in these woods. As you can see, we have found the foundations. Cheryl and I want to give a shout out to the New Boston Historical Society and to their webmaster Dan for their help and for the info that they have on their webpage. There's just not a lot of information to be found on this place. We will put a link to that webpage in the description box below the video. But where we are right now would have been the huge barn that the Reed brothers had on their farm. They owned most of the area back in the late 1800s, and they used the area for farming and for logging. And Charles Reed once tried to sell Frog Rock to the town of New Boston for a war memorial. Today, this land's all owned by the New England Forestry Foundation, and much of it was donated to them by Mr. and Mrs. Towns in 1974, hence the name of the memorial forest. In 2004, another 8 acres was donated by the Wilkins family, which includes 2 of the once famous attractions that we will show you at the end of this adventure. We believe this to be the farmhouse where they resided. You can see the front step here that would have led into the house when the house was still here, but all that's left now is just the cellar hole. Then coming around back, this would have been the entrance into the cellar. And then once in the cellar, in the far corner, we believe this would have been the chimney. You can tell by the bricks. And then this would be the rest of the foundation. A foundation. Cheryl believes maybe it was a porch off of the main house. This would have been where the well is. Hey, look. It's a small little itty bitty tunnel. Dave?
I'm in.
Another feature of Towns Forest is Kobe Pond.
This is a glacial kettle back from the Ice Age. There's 2 ways to actually see this. Right before the abandoned cemetery that we're about to show you, there is an unmarked trail that will take you up around the pond, but it's only peekaboo views, so we just bushwhacked it instead.
The views are much better this way.
Yes. All right, Cheryl and Barry are building a log cabin. You're going to be done before dusk?
Nope.
We're going to need a roof. On the other side of that stone wall is the trail leading up to and beyond Colby Pond. Where we're standing right now used to be the Paper Mill Village Cemetery. Paper Mill Village no longer exists, and the cemetery became abandoned when all of the residents were relocated to a graveyard off of Cemetery Road north of New Boston Village. The only marker left in the whole cemetery is this granite post. And after the abandoned cemetery, you'll come across this double arch bridge. I mean, it's constructed very well.
It's really a pretty area.
Hey, you think I can get through one of those arches?
Go for it. Dare you?
Go poke.
It's dark here. Piece of cake, except for one wet foot. We have reached a footbridge at the northern end of Frog Rock Road. This bridge used to go over to a restaurant called Lord's in the 1940s. Now it goes over to a private residence. So we're going to turn around here and start working our way back. This is the problem with dealerships that don't know where to set up shop. When you do it out in the middle of nowhere, people don't come by. And your cars just sit out here and rot.
And people move into them.
And yeah, well, people. I don't think that's people poop.
No. Porcupine?
I don't know. Glad he wasn't in there when I went in. I did try to start it. Couldn't find the key. But it was a station wagon. Now heading back south, we ran across this area that we didn't see on the way down. Really not sure what it is, but it's really close to the last two attractions we're going to take you to today. Frog Rock and Teetering, also known as Tipping Rock.
Let's go.
Cheryl, did you find Tipping Rock?
I did.
All right, move it. That's Tipping Rock?
It's the only one I can find.
This is the second largest boulder next to Frog Rock in the area, so we believe that this is Tipping Rock, also known as Teetering Rock. In 1900, tourists used to find this an attraction along with Frog Rock because they could just walk up to it and they could tip it with just their hand. Well, we just put an awful lot of hands on it and it doesn't tip anymore. But to be fair, it has been 117 years. Mm-hmm. I don't know, hon. I thought Frog Rock would have been bigger.
Look, he moves and he pees.
Oh, wait a minute. That's a toad. That's not a frog. This is Frog Rock.
Can you see it? I can.
This was the once famous New Boston Frog Rock, and I know what you're thinking. He must have looked better before. Yeah, let's step back 100 plus years and see if we can't show you what he used to look like. Can you see it now? A lot has changed since the 1900s. I mean, a whole forest has grown up around these two rocks. This place used to be wide open. Tourists from Boston would flock up here and they'd spend the whole summer just to see areas like this. One of the places that they would stay was over in Mount Vernon. There was a hotel there called the Grand Hotel. Check out their advertisement. They even advertised Frog Rock in it. They were brought by the wagon loads over here just to have picnics. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to 2017 and this area doesn't get anywhere near the tourists that it used to get. But the history is still here, and that's why we came to capture it. Hey, hon?
Yeah.
Is it time for fun with the frog?
It is.
All right.
Up a little. That's his mouth.
Let him lick your finger.
Hang on, you gotta do that again.
I missed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do it again.
Take three.
Barry.
Okay. Next, put your head in there.
Oh, no.
When Princess Tina kissed the rock, all she got was a Dave. But they lived happily ever after anyway. The end.
Okay, so until our next adventure.
The end.